Hi, Kelly. Thanks for joining me today. To start, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Kelly. I'm a junior at Stanford studying econ and data science. I'm the co-president of SENSA, which stands for Stanford Social Entrepreneurial Students Association. My background is a lot in like economic research and social impact consulting, and some like economic policy work. And I'm from San Diego, California. Grew up in California my whole life and got really passionate about like social entrepreneurship and using business tools to solve hard problems and really drive a positive, lasting impact. And so that's how I got involved with Sensa.
Awesome. And how did you first learn about the Oregon campus?
Yeah, so Stanford has like a lot of different club fairs and activity fairs. So I joined Sensa when I was a freshman. I was at one of these, like I believe it was the service fair, and the club was like advertising itself as like an organization that promotes like merging kind of business with like impact and finding solutions that work with everyone. And that like really inspired me because I was involved in like debate and DECA as a high schooler. And so I had always been kind of very interested in like the business space, but I was also a little like disillusioned kind of with the um, I felt like there was a lot of like profit maximization over like social maximization, for example. And
Mhm.
so I wasn't as like interested in going down that path. But then like since I kind of came along and was like, oh, there's a way to kind of merge those two. And I joined through the social impact consulting team. So I
Mhm.
applied, there was like an interview, there was I think one interview, and then like you had to submit a written application. Got in, and I got to work on three different projects, three different consulting projects that year. Fall quarter, we worked with like the Stanford Office of Inclusion and Belonging. And we did a bunch of student surveys on like how people were readjusting after COVID back on campus. I did another cool project with like a food sustainability startup. It's like a seafood startup that uses like discarded bycatch, and it will like turn that into school meals, and then it serves that in like underserved schools in the Bay Area. So we did a project with them looking into like government contracting and how they can break into that market. Um, and then I also did a cool project with this ed tech startup called Career Village, that is basically like Quora, but specifically for like if you have questions related to like professional like development and what you want to do with your career. We just help them like revamp their website and increase signups and do some like user testing. And so that really got me into like social entrepreneurship and this idea of like social impact consulting. And then that summer, I did an internship at a social impact consulting firm where I worked with different like foundations and nonprofits to like help boost like marketing and communications efforts. And I became a consulting lead the next year at Sensa. So I was the one now like running the teams,
Mhm.
the consulting teams. And that was also really cool to be in like more of a leadership position and
Yeah.
have more say in like what projects we did. And then now I'm co-president of the organization with Arnav and Megan, and it's been a really like rewarding journey. I've learned a lot, gotten really passionate about social impact and entrepreneurship. And yeah, that was kind of a long-winded answer, but that's
Yeah,
kind of
no, it was
my
a great yeah, it was a great overview of your journey. And you mentioned you joined the consulting team. I know you guys have two other teams, so the venture capital team and then also the VIP speaker series. Do you mind just giving me a quick overview of those, the two other teams?
Yeah, so the venture capital team is a little smaller. So we have only around like 10 to 12 students on that team, but we partner with a partner VC firm. So in the past, it's been with 50 years. I think this year, I'm not sure if we're repeating our partnership with them, but I know our team leads are also looking into other VC firms to partner with. But typically we'll have like a partner VC firm that is like specializes in impact investing. So investing in like socially impactful, social entrepreneurship startups. And the first like fall quarter and winter quarter are typically like fall quarter is mostly recruitment, and then winter quarter is like the boot camp. So the VC leads will work in conjunction with the VC firm and put on workshops and kind of train the team on like everything they need to know about VC and impact investing. And then it culminates in a spring quarter internship, basically, where the students on the team work directly with the firm and are like endowed like a given set of money. So in the past, like we worked with like $1 million and kind of researching like the best startups to invest the money in the best spaces, and then offering their recommendations to the firm. So it's a lot more hands-on, and it's a really cool way to like get direct experience in VC, which is typically an area that a lot of students aren't able to kind of get direct hands-on experience in until much later in their careers. So yeah, that's our VC team. Really cool. I was not on it personally, but like I do talk to our leads, and they like it's a really great opportunity and a great team. And then in terms of VIP, so VIP stands for Very Impactful Speaker Series. So that's actually a 1-unit class that we put on every year. This year, I believe we're doing fall quarter and spring quarter will offer the course. And basically, the team is just around like 3 people. It's just like basically like the teaching assistant team, but they work to like reach out and conduct outreach to social entrepreneur, like really impactful social e-founders and people in the space. So I believe actually on our website, we have a list of the speakers that we had this year. Give me a second to pull that up.
Yeah, I think I saw that on the website. I'm happy to link it in the interview notes so that people can
Yeah,
find it.
that would be great. Let me make sure it's updated on the website. Yeah, okay. Great, it is updated. Yeah, so we've had like Alex Brown from Alga Biosciences. We've had people from like speak on specifically like racial justice in the space. Like we had Tracy McCurdy week 7. That was a really good lecture. And in the past, we've even had like the founder of Khan Academy, Sal, come and talk to us. It's been like, it's basically a way to connect the Stanford community and students to like people in the social e-space, and they come into class and we'll have questions set up for them, and all of it is like, we don't send the questions to them beforehand, so they can't like prepare or script answers. So everything is very like raw and authentic. You get their real responses and reactions real time. And then at the end, students get to ask them. There's like 20-30 minutes for students to directly ask the speakers questions. And it's a way for like people to learn about it. There's no like really homework associated with the class. It's just kind of like a weekly kind of like speaker lectures to go to. And so we put that on like every year. It's a really great opportunity for students to like, even if you're not interested in social entrepreneurship, as long as you're interested in like social impact and any of the topics that these amazing people work in, like it's a really great way to like learn more about the space and get really like valuable insights. And so that's also a really great way to get involved with the club.
Cool. And can you talk more about just the application process? So you mentioned, I saw the written application on the website. You mentioned the interview for the consulting team. Do like all your teams follow that same process, or can you talk a little bit more about that?
Pretty much. So every year we'll recruit mostly in fall, like with all the other clubs, and we have one like main application that everyone fills out. So like if you're a general member, you just like fill out your basic information and why you're interested in social entrepreneurship. But like we don't bar anyone from being a part of Sensa. Like everyone is welcome. Like as long as you're interested in social entrepreneurship or you're interested in what we do, you want to participate, engage with the club, like you're an automatic Sensa member. Like you just have to, sign up on this form, put in your email, and you're added to the list. And you're welcome to come to any of our events. But if you want to get more involved, like specifically with any of our sub teams, like consulting, VC, or you want to be part of the teaching team for VIP, we will have like separate subparts of the application that you fill out, and each team lead, like each sub team's leads, will craft questions specifically for like what they're looking for in their team that year. And the applications are pretty short. It's just around like maybe like 3 short answer questions for people, and followed by like an interview round where we, like the team leads, will reach out and talk to people. And then like they make decisions and like send people their acceptances. So it's a pretty straightforward process in terms of like the application process. It's not very like, it can be competitive, especially for the VC and consulting teams, because we do have limited spots. But in general, like we prioritize accepting anyone who is just passionate and willing to put in the effort and willing to like learn and grow. Yeah.
Gotcha. And do you need any prior experience in consulting or VC to join these teams, or can you talk historically about just like what you guys have looked for, what you've indexed on when selecting students to these sub teams?
Yeah, no, you don't need any experience. So that's something that we really try and communicate to students when we're recruiting. Like I joined the consulting team, like literally not even knowing what consulting was. Like I was like, what is consulting? I was like, oh, cool though. It seems like you get to work on some really cool projects, like doing impactful stuff. So like I would love to be a part of that. But you don't need any prior experience. We have people from a diversity of backgrounds. Like we have a lot of people who are interested in entrepreneurship and have past entrepreneurship experience. We also have people who like don't know what consulting or VC is at all, but just it sounds interesting to them. We have people from STEM backgrounds, humanities backgrounds, accepting of everyone. We believe that as long as you are interested and passionate about having a positive impact on the world and solving hard problems and using kind of like business entrepreneurship tools to create change, that like everyone should be able to engage with social entrepreneurship in the club. So we encourage everyone to apply. And when selecting applicants, we prioritize people who display like high levels of passion and commitment, because we think that commitment to learning about the space and engaging with the club and really putting in the work is like a lot more important than like any kind of like background. Because if you're not willing to put in the time and the effort to really like do the work and get the most out of the experience, it's not as rewarding or fulfilling. And so we mostly just prioritize interest and passion.
Makes sense. And what do you see as like the biggest opportunities to improve Stanford SENSA?
I think we definitely want this year, and what we've been trying to focus on is creating more of a community. So because the club is kind of decentralized, like we have the 3 different sub teams and then we have general members, and in the past, there hasn't been a lot of overlap between any of the sub teams. So like I was in consulting, but like I never really got to talk to people from VC or VIP. We would do like maybe one like board retreat, but there wasn't many opportunities for like cross team engagement and collaboration. And also like there wasn't as many events for general members. So it was also like hard for general members to get to know other people on the teams. So I think this year we've been really prioritizing creating a sense of like shared community, having a lot more opportunities for people to like just engage and meet each other. So we had a social mixer earlier this quarter where it was like we had like a bonfire at the fire pit, and everyone was invited just to like mingle and get to know other people on the other teams and hear about the work that they're doing and make new friends. And like prioritizing community within the board as well, leadership board. So I've also been doing a lot of like team building events within all our team leads, and so that we're all like on the same page, and that all of our teams sub teams work are aligning with SENSA's overall broad mission and goals. And then we also want to put on more events with general members this year, so doing more, like we had a speaker series. We did a joint speaker series with BASIS, which is the Business Association of Entrepreneurial Students. And that was open to like general members. So anyone in SENSA or BASIS could come, and it was kind of similar to VIP. But the speakers, we only brought in 3 speakers. And it was more focused on like food systems and that kind of stuff. But that's also like, we want to put on more of those kinds of events, more opportunities for general members to get engaged with the club and get engaged with social entrepreneurship. So I think those have been our main areas for improvement.
Cool. And last question, is there anything I didn't ask about that you think is important to know for a student considering Stanford SENSA?
I think the biggest thing we get in terms of questions from students is like, what's the difference between SENSA and like BASIS and ASIS? BASIS and ASIS are other entrepreneurial orgs on campus. And I would say the biggest difference for SENSA is that we are like a social impact focused organization. Like, yes, we foster and create a space for student founders to get to know each other. Like each year we put on Social Impact Night, where we invite founders from all across campus and all different schools and departments to come in and share their social venture ideas and recruit people for their teams and learn about what other people are doing on campus. And yes, we are focused on like entrepreneurship, but we are also focused, like we focus mostly on issues that have a strong social impact. So like housing affordability, sustainability, like everyone here is passionate about creating a positive impact. So not just creating like startups to like create a startup, or like I'm going to create the next Facebook, or I'm going to create the next like big dating app, like just for the sake of creating something. Like we are focused on creating solutions to real world issues. And so in our work, design thinking is also like very, very important. And like addressing real needs among real communities and making sure that like profit motives are aligned also with like social, environmental, governance motives. And so I think that's a big part of our work, is really honing in on that like passion for social impact that maybe some of the other entrepreneurship orgs are less focused on. I think that's the main distinguishing factor with SENSA, and everyone here really does, you can tell, care about like these issues very deeply and wants to make a really positive impact. And so it's really inspiring, and it's a great community. And we recommend anyone who's interested, just like go to our website, join our email list. We have events. Unfortunately, we're not like recruiting for the rest of the year for our specific sub teams. Applications for that are closed. But there's many other ways to get involved with the club if you become a general member. And so we recommend you join our email list.
Awesome. Great way to finish. Thank you so much, Kelly, for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you. Of course.